Welcome in, everybody. We got Thursday Night Football, Broncos and Saints. This is either going to be the worst game of the season or the best game of the season, and you guys are about to find out why. I'm going to break everything down, give you guys the best picks of the day, and we'll get rolling. Welcome back in, everybody. As you can see, my man JJ is not able to be on the video today, but just as he has my back when I'm not able to jump on videos, I'm going to have his. And in the end, we both got you guys, giving you guys the best analysis and best picks we can. So let's get into it. And I told you guys this game is either going to be horrible or amazing. And the reason why is because of injuries. Holy shit. Chris Olave, concussion. Rashid Shaheed, I think he has a hamstring issue. Derek Carr is out. Taysom Hill is out. That's the Saints. Denver, they are a little bit healthier, but Josh Reynolds is out. And now Patrick Surtain is also out. So what the hell do we do with all this information? Well, I'll tell you. On the Saints side, at least their offense, when Chris Olave went down early last game, I think it was literally the first or second drive, Bub Means took over all of his routes. After pretty much not seeing the field for the first few weeks of the season, he ran 70% of the team's routes last game. So assume that he's taking the Chris Olave role. On the Rashid Shaheed side, we're going to see some Mason Tipton, some Cedric Wilson. It's probably going to be split a little bit between them. I know Cedric Wilson is more through the slot, so we'll see how Dennis Allen and Clint Kubiak decide to split up those routes. But the main thing we want to target here is Denver's man coverage. We don't know for sure that they're going to be running it as much with Surtain out. However, they are running it the most in the league, so even if they lower that down a little bit, they're probably still a heavy man coverage team. And against man coverage teams, we target guys who get open, who are good route runners, who win their routes. And considering Bub Means is taking over that Chris Olave role, I want to say it's him. I haven't seen enough of him to really know if he fits that mold or not, but we're playing with very scarce options here. So Bub Means is probably my favorite to target out of that Saints new wide receiver group, if you want to call him new. The B team, we call him that as well. But the only other thing we could target in that pass game is really Alvin Kamara, because he actually has really good numbers against man coverage, which isn't normal for running backs, but Alvin Kamara is a special breed. The other reason I really like Kamara today in the receiving game is because Denver allows a lot of checkdowns, which, again, is very favorable to the running back in the receiving game. So I think Bub Means and Alvin Kamara are your two targets on the Saints side. A lot of people like Juwan Johnson, and I understand why. I liked him last week. You guys heard that in the video. I think his lines are a touch too high, but I still would not be surprised at all if he goes over them. It's 27.5. Seeing over 70% of routes. He's a good player. I could see it's very easy for him to be going over that line. I just, knowing where his lines normally are and knowing that there's not really another tight end out other than Taysom Hill who's been out, I don't really want to play that game, especially with Derek Carr's out, Spencer Rattler. He's still kind of an enigma. We don't know what we can trust with him and what we can't yet. So Juwan Johnson is another piece I could see happening, but I'm not going to be putting my money on that. On the Broncos side, the Saints defense is healthy, at least in the secondary. So where do we want to target? They are not great against number one options, so Courtland Sutton is an option. But where the real value has the lines are already moved, but where the real value is Troy Franklin. He got up to 70% route share last week. That's the highest by far for him. He's climbing. The coaches like him. He played with Bo Nix in college. And Jordan Humphrey's route share went down. Josh Reynolds is injured. It seems like he's the one that's taking all that usage. So the line was 14.5. A lot of people got it. I think it's 19.5 now. There's still value in that. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good game today as well. All right, let's get into the run game. The Saints, Alvin Kamara. That's all we're going to talk about. We're not really going to bother ourselves with Jamal Williams. Alvin Kamara runs pretty much all zone scheme runs and outside the tackles. The issue with that is Denver is quite literally a top 5 team in every advanced stat against outside zone and outside the tackle rushes. So the run game is just not going to be there for him. Let's just get that out of the way. Alvin Kamara, they're going to want to use him a lot, but it's probably going to have to be more through the air than on the ground if they want to actually move the chains. On the other side, the Broncos kind of split it up between inside the tackles, outside the tackles, what run schemes they use, and I don't really know how to attack the Saints defense in that manner. Sean Payton likes to lean on the run, but he's also opening things up a lot for Bo Nix. I kind of just want to stay away from the run game in this one. The last thing that I want to touch on before we get into the parlay is the fact that both of these teams have the top 2 red zone defenses in the NFL. Even so, to the extent that the Saints allow the second most field goals per drive in the NFL. The Broncos probably would be there too if they let teams drive down the field, but they're really fucking good. So, knowing it's a primetime game and knowing the primetime unders, knowing both these teams don't really allow touchdowns, I think I can't see this being a high scoring game with 2 rookie quarterbacks that are not like Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. And Bo Nix has been good. Spencer Rattler has promise, but these are still rookie quarterbacks on their first short week of the season, and we don't really know if we can rely on them or not yet. It's still early in the season. So I don't see a lot of scoring in this game. That covers pretty much everything real quick, at least the stuff that I really intended to cover and wanted to cover. So let's get into the parlay. We got plus 5,000 on DraftKings with a 20% boost. It's plus 6,000. And what we're going with is Alvin Kamara under rush yards. I talked about how amazing the Denver Broncos are at defending rushes outside the tackles. I don't think they're going to be able to use him there. I think it's going to have to be the receiving game. Bub means 40 yards. Again, he's taking over the Chris Olave role against a team that plays a lot of man coverage with their number 1 DB out. I think it makes a lot of sense for him to get 40 yards. It's just 40 yards. Troy Franklin, 25 yards. Again, his route share went up like crazy last week. There's some injuries in that wide receiver room, and he has a good rapport with Bo Nix. I think he's in for a good game. Both kickers to go over their field goal marks. I talked about both teams being elite red zone defenses. When the field gets shorter, the defense steps up, and it's going to have to force field goals. And because of that, we're also taking the under 37.5 points. Not a lot of scoring, and the primetime under system is alive and well. So that's what we're rocking with. Plus 5,000 with the boost, plus 6,000. It should not be that high. It should be like plus 3,500. I'm taking that value. Make sure you like and subscribe if you find this content helpful. And in the future, you guys know my man JJ will be on these videos with me. We'll get a Sunday Night Football video up for you guys soon. Take care and good luck today.